What's up, everybody? This is JoshyyRed. Today we're talking about something that looks like it belongs on a basketball court in 1998, but somehow also belongs on a hiking trail, in a coffee shop, and weirdly enough, at a family barbecue where your uncle starts talking about natural foot movement for 45 minutes straight. Today we're talking about the AIRHAS men's barefoot shoes. Wide toe box, zero drop, minimalist sneakers, and I gotta be honest, these things confused me a little at first because visually, they look like normal casual sneakers, like if Nike Dunks and orthopedic walking shoes had a secret child nobody told us about. But underneath all that, these are actually barefoot shoes, meaning they're designed to let your feet move more naturally, spread out naturally, and supposedly help with posture, comfort, and all that good stuff. And I've been wearing barefoot shoes for a while now. And I have to say, initially I was pretty skeptical, but I've actually grown to really appreciate them. And listen, I know barefoot shoes sound like the kind of thing a guy named Trevor explains to you while drinking mushroom coffee and standing barefoot in the grass at 7 a.m. But hey, stick with me here, because after wearing these for a while, I actually get the hype. And as an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. So if you use the links below, I may earn a commission at no extra cost to you. All right. Without further ado, let's get into it. First off, the looks. This is probably the biggest reason most people would even click on these in the first place, because most barefoot shoes out there, let's be honest, they look pretty insane. They look like clown shoes. Like either you're training for a mountain ultra marathon or you're about to challenge somebody to a sword fight in the forest. And there's really no in between. But what I've grown to love about the AIRHAS brand is they actually look fairly normal. The black and white colorway especially gives a major classic sneaker vibe. And from a distance, people genuinely think you're just wearing regular casual shoes. Nobody's looking down at your feet like, oh, wow, this man definitely watches foot mobility videos on YouTube and Instagram, which initially kind of drew me into this. And that matters because a lot of us want the comfort and natural feel of barefoot shoes without looking like we gave up on civilization. I mean, the design, it's clean, minimal branding, pretty versatile. You can wear these things with jeans, joggers, shorts, and honestly, they work with almost everything. I wore these running errands, filming videos, editing at my desk, chasing kids around the house, and they blended into normal life super easy. I was even kicking a soccer ball around today. And the second thing you'll notice immediately is the wide toe box. This is the iconic barefoot shoe signature to let your toes splay out. If you've never worn barefoot shoes before, it feels pretty weird at first. Your toes actually have room, like real room. Not shoe company says wide, but they actually mean slightly less painful. I mean, your toes can actually spread out pretty naturally. And once you get used to that feeling, regular shoes start feeling kind of ridiculous, insanely tight. You put on a normal sneaker afterward, and suddenly it feels like your toes are packed into economy seating on a budget airline. It's honestly wild how cramped most shoes are once your feet adjust to something wider. Now let's talk about the zero drop sole. Basically, what that means is your heel and forefoot sit level with each other. There's no elevated heel like traditional running shoes. And apparently this is supposed to help encourage more natural posture and walking mechanics. Now, I'm not going to sit here pretending I became some posture guru overnight. I didn't suddenly start walking around like a Navy SEAL with perfect spinal alignment or a dancer who just is always upright. But I will say, after long days wearing these, my feet feel less fatigued than I expected, especially standing for long periods, editing videos, shooting content, running around all day. And I definitely notice the heel rise in regular shoes after wearing these for a long period of time. There's this grounded feeling with barefoot shoes that's hard to explain until you try them. You feel more connected to the floor instead of floating around on giant foam marshmallows. Now, speaking of foam marshmallows, if you love ultra cushion shoes, these might be a bit of an adjustment because minimalist shoes are intentionally thinner. You feel the ground more. And that's kind of the point. So the first couple of days, your feet might be like, excuse me, what are we doing here? Especially if you spent years wearing thick, cushioned sneakers. And this is important. Don't go hiking 14 miles on day one trying to become a barefoot warrior immediately. Ease yourself into it. Your feet actually use muscles differently in minimalist shoes. And most minimalist shoes, like these ones, they do have a cushioned insole. So you're not in true barefoot form. It's a nice transition period. But that transition period's real. And for me personally, after about a week, they started feeling way more natural. Now let's talk about comfort overall. Honestly, better than I expected for the price range. The upper material has a decent softness to it. The inside lining feels comfortable. Breathability is solid. And one thing I appreciate, they don't scream cheap Amazon sole. You know exactly what I mean. Sometimes you order shoes online and they arrive smelling like a factory and disappointment. These actually feel reasonably well put together. The stitching looks pretty clean on mine. The sole felt durable enough for casual daily use. The grip was surprisingly decent too. I wouldn't use these for hardcore trail running or intense gym lifting though personally, but everyday walking, casual wear, traffic errands, work from home life, totally reasonable. And honestly, these might be one of the better starter barefoot shoes for people curious about minimalist footwear. I've tried a number of the ones on Amazon, and I had continuously come back to the AIRHAS brand because some barefoot shoes are aggressively barefoot, like basically socks with emotional support, or the toe box is insanely wide, wider than you typically need. These still give you enough structure with the transition, and it doesn't feel terrifying. Now, one thing I noticed, sizing can matter a lot with barefoot shoes because the whole point is allowing natural toe spread. So if you size too small, you completely defeat the purpose. So definitely pay attention to sizing charts and reviews before ordering. For me, getting the right fit made a huge difference in overall comfort. And I will say after buying a number from this particular brand, they fit pretty true to size. Another thing worth mentioning, these are vegan leather. So if that matters to you, that's a nice bonus. And visually, honestly, they don't look half bad at all. Sometimes I think people hear vegan leather and imagine something shiny and weird like a plastic couch from 1987, but these actually look pretty clean in person. So much so, I had to get the white ones as well. Now, are these the most premium barefoot shoes ever made? No. But they're also not priced like handcrafted Italian moon boots either, or some of the more expensive barefoot brands. And that's where these become really interesting because some barefoot shoes get expensive fast. Start browsing minimalist footwear online, suddenly you're looking at shoes that cost as much as a camera lens. And if you're brand new to the barefoot world, dropping huge money immediately feels risky, which is why I spent so much time testing out different Amazon brands. And these feel far more approachable, like a solid entry point without financially ruining yourself over toe freedom. Now let's talk about who these are actually for. I'd say these are ideal for people curious about barefoot shoes, but scared of the super weird looking ones. It is definitely me. People with wider feet who hate cramped sneakers. These aren't the widest toe box, so these are going to be better for people who do have wider feet or want display, but don't have ultra wide feet. People standing all day, casual walkers, travel shoes, everyday lifestyle wear, even office casual situations, honestly, depending on your workspace. I wear these to the office all the time. And weirdly enough, they pack pretty well too because they're so lightweight. Now, who might not love these? If you want maximum cushioning, it's probably not for you. If you need heavy arch support from your shoes specifically, probably not ideal, given that it's got the zero drop. If you're expecting the same feeling as thick running shoes, definitely a different experience. And if you're somebody who absolutely needs super rigid structured footwear, these might feel too flexible because flexibility is a core part of the design here. You can literally bend these pretty easily. Very different than traditional footwear. And again, that's intentional. That's the thing with barefoot shoes. Once you try them, you suddenly become aware of how weird normal footwear can be. We've just become so immune to it over time. It's like discovering your feet have been living in tiny apartments their entire lives. And again, I'm not claiming these are magical, life-changing shoes that will transform you into a mountain monk with perfect posture and inner peace. But I do understand why people get into minimalist footwear now. There's definitely something different about the experience, especially for everyday casual movement. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, or enjoyed hearing me accidentally enter a family foot health seminar, hit that like button, pound that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.